St. John, New Brunswick, in the midst of opening ceremonies for the 11th annual 24-hour relay. Soon the gun will go off, the clock will start, and the walkers and runners will be on their way.
Well, I don't know how I'm going to last the next 24 hours, but you're going to see it here on BodyBreak. It's active.
BodyBreak, it's active. BodyBreak, it's active.
BodyBreak, it's active.
Oh, yeah.
With Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
Oh, yeah.
On today's show, our dietitian Susan Ma is in the apple orchard to show you how your body uses carbohydrates for energy. And to keep up with this fast-paced world, a quick, delicious, high-fiber, low-fat energy drink is on the menu. We're staying up for 24 hours, but we'll make sure you know how to wake up refreshed. So get ready. It's BodyBreak, it's active.
BodyBreak, it's active.
We're here in St. John, New Brunswick for the 11th annual 24-hour relay walk and run. Now there's 67 teams competing with 20 participants to each team. And each member will run a 2-kilometer course over the next 24 hours.
Well, in between the resting, refueling, and having a lot of fun, well, the team that completes the most laps in the next 24 hours wins. Well, let's take a closer look at that 2-kilometer course.
You start on the track, head out to the parking lot that leads to the hospital. Make a left and go up the hill. Another left to pick up water. Keep up the pace towards the University of New Brunswick. Turn left and walk or run about 150 meters. Then enter the track and pass off to the next runner or walker.
Participating in an event like this can help motivate you to keep fit, work as a team, and feel good that you're doing something important for your community. Well, benefiting this year is the St. John Regional Hospital's Radiation and Oncology Department.
The new piece of equipment we're getting in is called a 3-dimensional treatment planning system, and it's really a computerized system with software that helps us plan our radiation treatment fields for the patient. We do that planning before the patients are brought onto this machine, and that helps us decide which directions to come in to hit the tumor and how many directions to come in. We are extremely excited to be involved with something that's the leading edge of technology in radiation oncology. But more than that, I think the benefit that I think our patients are going to have is something that really makes the whole thing very exciting.
My turn to run is coming up, and like many people, I found running intimidating at first too. Even though I knew that you could burn fat and calories, you could do it any time of the day, and you could feel better about yourself because of the endorphins, the hormones that are released when you're active. What more could you ask for? I guess knowing how to start so that you don't end up flat on your back, exhausted, and disliking the activity. If you haven't been exercising, it's best that you start to walk before you run. Assuming you're able to try running, you'll need good shoes, and I suggest you go to a store that specializes in running. Shoes start to lose their cushioning around the 300-mile mark. Therefore, you'll need a new pair about every 6 months if you run 3 miles a day every other day. Worn shoes can put extra torque on your knees and lead to all sorts of knee and hip problems. Pace is the key, and you don't need a pace car to keep it under control. You see, your body will let you know if you're running too fast. You should never feel strained, out of breath, or faint. Slow down and run slow at first. And it's the length of time that you run that's more important than distance. So start out with 15 minutes, and if you have to walk in between, that's okay. The endurance will come over time. Start with 15 minutes, and as the weeks go by, increase the time to 20 minutes, to 25, to 30. You'll know you're ready to increase the time if you don't feel the least bit of muscle fatigue the morning after you run. Unless you're running a marathon or have a specific goal, you don't really need to run more than 30 to 40 minutes. And like with all activities, warm up and cool down, such as walk a couple of minutes and stretch. Relax as you run. It's not supposed to be painful. Look at the scenery and think about things. Your stamina will increase over time, and running will become second nature. Hey, thanks.
I've just been running for about a month, and I'm still walk running, and basically got into it because I'm out of shape, have been for a couple of years, and I'm ready to get back into shape. And I have a son who's really into track and field and wants me to run
I
with him.
started running about a couple months ago, essentially running for my life just to eliminate stress because I had very high stress levels. And my husband is training for a marathon, so I needed to find some people who were beginners so that I didn't hold him back and I wasn't trying to keep up with him. And I'm really enjoying
It was a lifestyle change. So I got into the group to help run and to keep me going. And the idea that when you run during the week, if I think, well, I'll skip running on Wednesday, that I know that when I run with the group on Saturday, I'm not going to do as well. But I found already in 3.5 weeks, I do enjoy the runs, and I feel it's a great feeling. You feel really positive.
It really helps me learn to focus. I focus on the run, what my body feels and what I'm thinking. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm looking around too much. I want to stay alive till we get to the pier. But I think I'm learning a lot from it.
If you don't eat properly, you really feel it in your runs. I know if I have a hamburger and French fries one night and I go out running the next day, I feel terrible in my run. If I have a proper meal like a pasta primavera or something like that, and salad and lots of water is the key. I have a great run and I feel good about it.
Well, I do aerobics, so I always thought I was reasonably physically fit already, but I found it's a way I can switch off. I can just forget about everything. It's my own time and just enjoy the countryside.
And you feel like you can handle anything after you finish a run.
Well, the big question here is who's going to be able to survive the next 24 hours? Stamina is the key. Stamina is the power to endure fatigue, and you need it when you play or work. Now, some jobs require more stamina than others. Let's take a look at some nurses and what they do to keep up their stamina.
And I've done this for so many years now that I guess I've sort of gotten the nights onto the day's routine under control. You have to plan ahead and have yourself organized. It's important perhaps to eat a little bit less and to make sure that you have a lot of fluids during the time that you are at work at nighttime. I think we all have a tendency to just scurry around, try to get the work done. You must stop and take a break and have something to eat and keep your fluid intake up. You know you're going to have that time off and your body's going to readjust. Give yourself maybe the first day that you're off. Don't make too many expectations on yourself. I make sure that I have things to do outside of work that are interesting to me, both mentally and physically, because I like sports and I like to read and I like to go to eat, and I will treat myself at the end of a series of nights to something that I have to look forward to.
Stamina, it's what your body needs more of. Well, I'm just about ready to get out in that course. But up next, it's going to be all about carbohydrates and how your body uses them. Then we're going to talk a little bit about St. John, New Brunswick. It's more than just a relay course.
BodyBreak is active.
There's enough food here to feed an army. Lots of carbohydrates, known as energy foods. I've found a great spot to hang out, and carbohydrate foods are to your body what gas is to your car, the fuel that keeps you moving and alert. It's safe to say that everyone, regardless of age, wants to have the energy and endurance for exercise, work, and play. Susan Ma, our dietitian, has the inside scoop on how your body uses the carbohydrates you eat.
Carbohydrates are the most important type of fuel for your body. There are two types of carbohydrates, simple and complex. Simple carbohydrates are found in food like apples and other fruit, fruit juices, milk, table sugar, honey, jam, and candy. Complex carbohydrates are found in bread, pasta, rice, corn, potatoes, peas, beans, and lentils. But how does all of this great tasting food change into energy for your body? Well, let's say you eat an apple. It's a simple carbohydrate. During digestion, simple carbohydrates travel to the liver where they are broken down into glucose, and glucose is the main energy source for your body. Now, glucose is important for a number of things. It travels in your blood to supply energy to your vital organs, such as the brain, heart, and kidney. If you're exercising, glucose also travels in your blood to your muscles to help you keep going. If you're not exercising, glucose is stored as glycogen in the liver or muscle cells. Glycogen is like your energy storage and is used when you start your sport or activity. Keep in mind, though, that you can fill up your stores of glycogen if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates and not getting enough exercise. All the extra carbohydrates will be converted to fat, and that'll be stored around your body. When you exercise within your target heart range, you'll be using both the stored glycogen and fat. After you eat a meal, the amount of glucose in your blood, also called blood sugar, is only enough to keep you going for a couple of hours. Think about a time when you weren't able to eat for about 4 or 5 hours. Maybe you were on the road and didn't have time to grab a bite to eat. Or maybe you were working on a project and just lost track of the time. Do you remember how you felt? You probably felt tired, weak, dizzy, nauseous, maybe even irritable. That's because your blood sugar levels were low. And to prevent that from happening, try eating several small meals or snacks throughout the day. That'll keep your blood sugar levels up and your energy too. There's enough stored energy or glycogen in your muscle to last about 90 minutes. So if you're doing a sport or activity that lasts more than 90 minutes, like Hal and Joe's 24-hour run, then you need to be eating a lot of complex carbohydrates, especially before the activity. This is a practice called carbohydrate loading, and if done correctly, it can really enhance your performance. Hey Joe, what are some tips for carbo loading? And hey, can you get me out of this tree?
Susan doesn't need my help to get out of the tree. She's been eating her carbohydrates. And carbo loading is when you taper your exercise 4 to 5 days before a long event, such as a marathon or 24-hour relay, and eat a high carbohydrate diet. Then 2 to 3 days before the event, you cut back on your training even more and continue eating high carbo foods. On the day before the event, you rest your muscles completely and continue eating lots of whole grain bread, pasta, rice, fruits, and vegetables.
Well, eating lots of carbohydrate foods is still important, even if you're not running a marathon or a 24-hour relay, because these foods typically are low in fat, great sources of fiber, and taste good too.
They sure do. And while we eat our carbs, there's more to St. John, New Brunswick than the relay course.
There's 400 years of history. And running the length of a city block, you'll find the oldest continuing farmers market in the country. St. John is the best place to experience the Fundy Tide, which could submerge a 4-story building. You can also take advantage of the many parks, beaches, waterways, festivals, and definitely the hospitality.
Keep it going. We've experienced firsthand some of the East Coast hospitality right here.
Oh, we sure have.
Festivities are going on, food everywhere, runners and walkers are on the course. A lot is happening.
Well, there sure is. And some people here have told me that they run or walk on a regular basis to maintain a healthy weight. $650,000 has been raised for the St. John Regional Hospital Cancer Unit. Getting involved, participating, and helping others, well, that's a great way to keep fit and have fun.
That's right. And we'll be right back with what's up on next week's show.
It's active.
We're not going to end an event like this without cooling down. Now, while we're doing this, let's take a look at next week's show.
We'll be joining the Burloak Canoe Club to experience outdoor activities. And as you'll see, it won't be a typical day on the water. And along the way, you can test your upper body endurance, learn how to recognize and deal with food allergies, and get a recipe for an East Indian dish called chenna. All that and a lot more next on BodyBreak It's Active.
So until next time, St. John, New Brunswick,